All right, y'all, I'm back. I am back. I decided to get back on here and continue this conversation regarding how we're responding to the Keke Palmer and Darius Jackson situation. So I'm not even focused too much on Keke Palmer and Darius Jackson. I'm more focused and concerned and need to address how we, the people, are responding to this situation. And first off, forgive me. I am in my car again. I think somebody asked me, why do I tape in my car? And for those of you guys who are parents and have a family, you definitely will understand why. This is the most quietest place that we can come to when it comes to our home. And a lot of times we have excellent lighting. I know for me, I have excellent lighting in my car. So you'll see me, you may see me taping a lot in my car. So forgive me for that. If I'm working on my office space so that I can have a better space to kind of tape when it comes to in my home. But for right now, child, this would work. Okay. So well, this will have to do for right now. But also too want to say I hope you all are having a blessed Sunday. I know I am. Church was awesome. And today is extremely hot. For those of y'all who live in Florida, you understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, I wanted to get on here and address how we're responding as people to this situation, because it's very revealing and very telling. And I have a little bit of notes here because I want to stay on track. I'm known to be long-winded and I want to kind of stay on track with this, but it's very concerning and very revealing how we're responding to the situation. And I have listened to a couple of videos kind of talking about the subject and kind of shedding their own opinion about the subject. I think my mom sent me a video, and some of the things that they're saying really is boggling my mind. It really is revealing and showing me how we've lost our sense, our way of right and wrong, our sense of direction, our sense of up and down, left and right. I mean, literally, we are in a whole mess of confusion. And I'm going to kind of bring up certain points that I heard, which make absolutely no logical sense. But the reason why I want to bring this up, because overall, God showed me the reason why things are happening the way they are, and you're seeing how this is playing out and how the people are responding to this, is it's showing me that when things are out of the order of God, when things are out of the order of God, you can best believe that chaos and confusion are sure to follow. And like I said, I'm going to provide some points that I heard from other people's video, from how many women are thinking. And women, you may feel a little salty about this video. Let me tell you the type of person I am. The type of person I am, I'm going to address who needs to be addressed, okay? I am a woman. I love my women because I am a woman. But if we in the wrong, then, and I got to be the one to point it out, then I have to be the one to point it out. And it's not because I hate us. It's because I love us and I want to see us do right. So in this situation, how I'm seeing us as women responding to it, it literally makes absolutely no sense to me. It makes no sense. And it shows when things are out of the order of God, chaos and confusion are going to follow. Another thing that it shows is that what we're very much unaware of is the enemy's tactic and plan against bringing division between the man and the woman. You see, when God created the man and the woman, he created them to be a partnership. He created them to be in covenant as a team, to work together, to be a unit, to be a kingdom. And if the enemy can cause division, then the enemy can divide and conquer. Because as Christ said in his word, a kingdom divided against itself will not stand. And the constant bickering I see, the constant fighting and odds that I see between men and women is proving that the enemy is having his way amongst us as men and women. And I wish that we would wake up and see what is going on when we don't even want to take the time to understand one another, to hear one another out, to come to a middle ground, but one wants to dominate the other, one wants to chastise the other, criticize the other, backlash the other, and make the other one feel how the other one feels. Then to me, it's showing that the enemy's work is being done. And so as I listen to some of these videos from some of these women, some of them are well known, and I'm not going to mention any names, but some of them are more well known than others. I heard some arguments against Darius as from their point of view that really doesn't make no sense as a woman. And so I wanted to kind of touch upon some of these that was mentioned. So my mom sent me one, and again, she is a more well-known YouTuber and, you know, very much popular influencer here on YouTube. And, you know, she's loved by many women. She does fashion as well and stuff like that. But I want to mention for one first thing that she said that really did not sit right in my spirit. And it is when she started off by comparing Darius and KEKE by their social class. So she painted this picture of KEKE as being this like this famous woman who has made a name for herself in this earth and in the entertainment industry and has built her own kingdom and her own empire. And basically Darius is a nobody. And so the reason why she made that comparison was to justify him basically being seen and not heard. So it's like, son, you're in her limelight, you're in her spotlight. You better be glad you even have a chance with this woman, because she is the one that's the shining star. You're just a nobody. And I'm sitting here listening to her, and I'm like, how are we going to get anywhere as a people if we're looking at our counterparts as, you don't have the same status as me, so you're beneath me? Now, for so long, we as women complained about being inferior to men and being treated as inferior to men. And yet when the shoe is on the other foot and maybe he's not as popular in the social and entertainment world as she is, then we need to make him feel like he's crap. And we need to make him feel that he's beneath her feet and that he should be seen and not heard. And because she's such a famous woman, she's allowed a pass. But as far as him, he needs to shut up and sit back quiet. Women, we're doing the same thing to men that's been done to us in history. Tell me, how are we getting anywhere if the pot is calling the kettle black? For those of y'all who don't know that old school idiom expression, how are we getting anywhere? As I don't understand how we're advancing as a people. And I'm speaking more to my Black people, because I'm not saying that no problems go on in any other racial community, but this is something that we've been dealing with as far as brokenness, dysfunction, inferiority, all these different types of dysfunctional thought patterns, behavior patterns. We are the ones, because of our history in this country, we are the ones that need a lot of healing. We have a different dynamic to the healing that we need. I think there's healing for people in general, and then there's healing in the Black community. And it's going to be a lot more complex than just your basic average healing. But for us to be treated in that way, and then when the shoe is on our foot and we've made a come up in life, to look down upon the Black man and look down upon the man as if he better be glad he even got a shot with KEKE, let alone out here trying to correct her on what she wearing. He better be glad he's in her spotlight to begin with. Tell me, women, how are we advancing and mature? How are we the better ones? Because I don't see that. As a matter of fact, she mentioned that the Black woman is the most disrespected person on the planet, which I'm not going to sit here and argue with. However, how are we any better when we in turn disrespect the black man? How are we any better if we in turn make him feel shamed and make him feel less than because of their social status in our culture? No one is above no one. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how famous you are. Nobody is greater than nobody, especially in the eyes of God, especially when we're talking about being human beings. Because let me tell you something, just as much as KEKE is important to her fans, Darius is important to his son. Darius is important to his family and his friends. And one does not override the other. I'm like, y'all, come on with this. This is not making any logical sense. Another point that was brought up. Darius does not have the right. Again, we're not saying that he should not have corrected her in public. I'm absolutely for that. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, somebody mentioned on one of my videos regarding the subject that Darius was a bit immature how he handled the situation. And maybe he was a bit immature. Maybe he saw KEKE dancing on Usher and it made him feel some type of way. However, as far as I'm understanding, they are in a relationship. Are they not? They do have a child together, do they not? So you're expecting Darius to not have any type of schism or jealousy if he sees the woman who I'm assuming he cares about and he loves hugged up and booed up with another man at a concert and letting him serenade her and like all over, hanging all over him and turning around so that he could see her behind. So you don't want him to be jealous about that? Ladies, the problem that I'm seeing is we're very selective in what we want our men to do, when we want our men to do it, and how we want our men to do it. So we want him to be jealous because we've made complaints about men being jealous for us and wondering why they don't care and why this, and we have all these complaints. But when he does show a little bit of jealousy, then we want to again cut his balls off. That's what we want to do. Don't you? How dare you be jealous? You just jealous of her. No, he's being protective of something that he feels belongs to him. Now, going back to the maturity thing, did he handle it in a mature fashion? Probably not. He probably not. When you're jealous and you're seeing somebody that you care about in the arms of someone else, it takes a lot of willpower to kind of put your feelings on the side and to kind of be rational and be like, you know what, let me handle this at home. You know what I mean? Because none of us know whether any conversation was had that she was wearing that could have threw him off guard. And then all of a sudden he see her on his clip, not only booed up with Usher, but also wearing something that's a little bit revealing and exposing and then flaunting it. So to tell him he has no right to be jealous, then sis, you shouldn't be jealous of your boyfriend either. When he's talking to another woman or when he's doing something that you feel is, I guess, rightfully belongs to you. I don't know how, if you're not married to him, but if we'll get to that point in a minute about the marriage thing. But if he's not married to you, but yet you see him up maybe in another woman's face, then you shouldn't be jealous either. You don't have any right. But yet, who's going to take the time to calm themselves down and to be like, all right, let me address him in private? Most of the time, we ready to fight her, him, the mama, everybody, the bartender behind the bar, and everybody. Come on, y'all. A lot of our reasoning is I'm sorry, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But it does show me that we recognize that there's an order because where we're acting to the disorder. So we recognize that there is an order. So he should have been mature. Okay, I could see that. But why can't we take that back a little bit further and say, shouldn't she have also been mature to not wear that outfit to the event? Why does she get a pass for what she wore, but he does not get a pass for how he reacted to what his baby mother and partner, girlfriend, whoever you want to call her, wore to an event? Why does he not get a pass? Why does she get a pass and he don't get a pass? I'm like, nah, no disrespect. Ladies, I love you. Hello, I'm with you. We on the same team. But I gotta let you know when your thinking is not logical, when you're out of order in your thinking, when your thinking ain't making any type of logical sense. And it's very telling. It's showing us that we're lacking wisdom. It's showing us that we're lacking integrity. We're lacking wisdom. We're lacking common sense. We're lacking a lot of things. Because what? Because we're out of order. And when you're out of order, chaos, confusion, disorder, dysfunction, nonsense is going to occur. We're going to start justifying all type of nonsense. And the funny thing is we're going to start justifying our nonsense, but criticizing the other person's nonsense. That's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue. I said, why was she not? I responded to the person. I said, agreed. He probably was immature for how he responded, but why was she not immature for what she wore? The older that I get, the more that I want to cover up. And I'm not saying wear a potato bag, because there is a way to be classy and sassy. You understand what I'm saying? But you start to understand your body, and as you mature, you start to understand how your body can either be used as a weapon, as a tool to cause people to fall, or to cause people to be uplifted and encouraged. And so you start to become aware that these things that I possess have the power for good or have the power for evil. And it's my maturity that's going to determine how I use them and how I expose or cover up these assets that I have. And that's all a part of maturity. So just as much as he immature, she's immature as well, because she is a mom and she shouldn't be wearing that as a mother. Sorry, not sorry. Love to hate me. And ladies, I only say this because I love you. I got to deal with us. See, I can't. The men are dealing with the men, because there are men who making videos and they're kind of wising our men up, and they're taking a stand, and they're calling men out on their BS. But understand, I'm gonna have to call us women out on our BS too. So it's because I love you. Okay, now let's go to the right, because he didn't wife her. Let's go to that. He don't have the right to say anything or any correction, because if you want to say something to her about what she wear, you need to marry her. Okay. Number one, how do you know he didn't propose? And she's not the one rejecting it. We don't know their relationship, y'all. So I would assume that we should be kind of hesitant and kind of patient to see maybe how things might have unfolded, because he might have asked her to marry him. But she said, can we just chill for a little bit? Because she's in her prime and she's, blowing up, and she might not want to be tagged down. She might not want to be feeling like she's bogged down by somebody. So one, we don't know whether he asked for her hand in marriage. Number two, this goes back to selective rights, and it shows us how much we're in disorder. He don't have the right to correct her, but he better had a right to pay that child support, right? Because here's the thing. We're attaching husband and wife rights and privileges we're attaching privileges to them, but not rights to them. And no, you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you're going to have the privilege, and you're going to have the privilege of a husband or a wife, you're going to have the rights of a husband and a wife. And it's okay for them to lay up, fornicate. I'm not saying I ain't never done it, but let's just call it what it is, y'all. It's okay for them to lay up, to fornicate, to have a baby out of wedlock. But now when he wants to maybe take a stand and say, you're a mom, I need you to kind of look at what you're wearing, then now he don't have a right to nothing, but he got the right to pay the child support, right? Because I bet you if he said, well, technically, okay, if I don't got the right to say that, then I don't got the right to pay no child support. But we would lambaste this dude and say, no, that's your child. You need to take care of your responsibilities. But you can't take care of responsibility on telling her what to wear. Tell me how we making sense. Technically, neither one of them had the right to sleep with each other, did they? Because they're not married. Come on, y'all. Look at how this ain't making any daggone sense right now. If we want to talk about who ain't had the right to do what, neither one of them had the right to do anything. They ain't had a right to make no baby, because guess what? They ain't married. I'm right there. I had a baby out of wedlock, but I'm going to call it for what it is. It's called you out of order. That's what that's called. Here's the thing. When we are out of God's order, even though we don't technically have no rights to anything, but because God made an order, our subconscious recognizes that order and will actually act out as if we were married, because we should have been married, because that's the order, how God made it. Him feeling that he has the right over her as his woman is because it's in him, it's in us, it's built in us to go according to God's order, and that's to legally make a covenant with that person so that you do have the rights and privileges to that person. So just as he didn't have no rights and privileges to tell her what to wear, what not to wear, or to correct her in public, she didn't have no rights and privileges. Neither one of them had any rights and privileges to actually have sex and have a baby. A lot of us ain't having no rights and privileges around here, but yet we'll get in a relationship, not be married, be jealous of our boyfriends, want to live with them, want to play house with them, want to do everything that a wife does and not be married, and then want to claim our rights. How so? You don't have any rights. You're not married. It shows us God is going, aha. That's why I made an order. And y'all Negroes are out of order. God forgive me. We out of order. We out of order, y'all. We out of order. This ain't no judgment, because I was there too. And the fact is, we have to call it for what it is. Subconsciously, we know God's order. And subconsciously, we know that God made an order for a man and a woman to marry, then to create a family, so that there is stability, responsibility, and rights and privileges. And what we're doing is we want to be God. And we want to say, no, God, we're going to take it out of order. We're going to sleep around. We want all the privileges of marriage. We want all the privileges of a commitment without the responsibility. And yet, when the doodle hits the fan, we start complaining about our rights. Ain't none of us got any rights if we ain't doing right. I'm going to say this again. If we're not in God's righteous order, ain't none of us got any rights to anything. Ain't none of us got any rights. Y'all, recognize what's really going on. The enemy is not only causing us to come out of order and therefore cause confusion and disorder and dysfunction, but the enemy also is hell-bent on keeping the man and the woman at odds with one another. And especially, I love you, Black people, but especially our people. Because if he can keep the man and the woman at odds instead of working together and actually at odds with him, who we need to be at odds with, because the word says our fight is not against flesh and blood, but is against spiritual wickedness, principalities, thrones, all those demonic entities and forces that want to see our demise as men and women. If we would just recognize who the real enemy is, we would join forces and we would say, you know what, man, let us seek to understand you. Forgive us as women. Let us seek to understand you so that we can meet on common ground. And men would say, women, forgive us. Let us understand you so that we can meet together on common ground. And let us actually join forces and combine so that we can come against who's really out to see our demise, not one another. This is not a fight, y'all, against each other. This is a fight against the enemy. But the enemy got us so out of order, got us so confused, got us so in chaos that he's causing us to come against each other instead of to fight the real enemy and to keep us divided. In a kingdom divided against itself will not stand. This is why Black people won't rise, because we won't stand with one another. One, we won't take accountability. We want to stay in a victim. We want to continue to remain a victim. I'm not saying that we have not been hurt people. I'm not saying we haven't been traumatized. I'm not saying that we haven't been beaten down. But what I'm saying is, at some point, we have to recognize that we no longer want to stay a victim, but we want to be a victor. And in order to do that, we have to take a stand for righteousness. We have to admit where we failed. I'm not saying take on the shortcomings and the failures and the evils of those that have done evil to us. I'm saying to take responsibility for yourself, to hold yourself accountable, and to make a change and do what is right and take a stand and unite as one people. That's when you'll see us rise. But until then, we are constantly going to be the tail and not the head. And it's sad, because there is so much greatness in us. There is so much power in us. There is so much creativity in us. There is so much royalty in us. But we are still acting like the very thing that they think we are, monkeys. And I hate to say it, and you may feel offended that I said that, but I know better. I know we are royalty. I know we are royalty. We are called of God, but we're acting how they called us because we won't get our ish together. Women, we need our Black men. We need our men. Stop it. Stop it. Recognize that we need to be healed and that we need to take accountability for ourselves, and we need to learn what is righteous and walk in it, and we need to support and uplift our men. Men, get right and stop it. The more you objectify, the more you subjugate your rib, the more you will not get ahead. We need each other, y'all. We need each other. We need each other. I'm going to get off because I'm sure y'all feel like y'all have had enough beating. And it's not, let me tell you why we call ourselves coaches. Because a coach is someone who will not only congratulate you on your win, but they will get on you and critique you because they see better in you and they know there's greatness in you. So don't ever think that discipline is the same as condemnation and judgment. There's a difference. I speak to you all this way because I know greatness is in you and I know better in you. And let me tell you, the same way I speak to you, I speak to myself. The same way. Get right. Take accountability and responsibility for yourself. Walk in righteousness and uplift and support one another, and watch and see us turn this world upside down and come against the real enemy of our souls. Y'all, love you on today. I would love to hear your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you all soon. Enjoy your Sunday. Bless.